Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into Rich Dad Poor Dad today.
Oh, yeah, a classic.
I bet even if you haven't read it,
Mm-hmm.
that title alone, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it just kind of gets you thinking differently about money, right?
It really does, yeah.
Like it's challenging those old ideas about what it means to be successful.
It definitely hit a nerve,
Yeah.
and it's been around for, what, like decades now?
Yeah, and it's still so relevant.
Because it makes you question, like, your whole relationship with money.
Exactly. And I always think about that contrast between the rich dad and the poor dad.
Right.
It's not just about how much you earn, it's your whole attitude.
It's like two completely different paths.
Yeah.
And he uses those two father figures to show you, you know, the poor dad could have a good education, a stable job,
Right. Right.
but he's still struggling financially because he's stuck in that cycle of working for money.
It's like he's on that hamster wheel, working hard, but never really getting ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Rich Dad flips the script completely.
Yeah, he's making his money work for him.
Yeah, he gets it.
He's building that investment portfolio.
Understands how money works, how to make it grow.
So that's where financial literacy comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which Kiyosaki is always talking about.
Big time. Rich Dad understands investments. He knows how to build assets that generate passive income.
And he's not afraid to take risks. Smart risks, of course.
He sees opportunities where poor dad only sees danger.
Okay, so you mentioned that you're working towards financial independence by 40.
That's the goal, yeah.
That's awesome. So what if we brought in some AI to help you get there?
Well, this should be good.
Like, imagine we use Google's Notebook LM to track your income, your expenses, even your investments.
Okay.
But then we analyze it all through that rich dad versus poor dad lens.
I like where this is going.
Right. Like, are your current habits actually putting you on the rich dad path? Or are you kind of stuck in that poor dad cycle without even realizing it?
That's what's so powerful about AI. It can show you your blind spots. Like maybe you have some habits you don't even realize are holding you back.
Ooh, I like that.
And Notebook LM could flag those, The things Rich Dad would say are keeping you in the rat race.
It's like having a personal financial coach.
Exactly. Helping you see things from a new perspective and make those Rich Dad principles actionable.
Okay, so let's get into some specific rich dad, poor dad lessons.
Let's do it.
I think there are a few that could be seriously amplified with Notebook LM.
I'm all ears.
One that always hits home for me is building assets, the things that put money in your pocket.
Oh yeah, Kiyosaki's all about that.
Instead of liabilities, the things that drain your money.
He's all about real estate, the right kind of stocks, building businesses.
Right. And I can totally see how Notebook LM could help here.
How so?
It's not just reading about real estate. It's like, what if you could use Notebook LM to pull up the latest research
Ooh, interesting.
on those specific types of investments that Kiyosaki recommends? You could even be like, hey, Notebook LM, show me what's happening with multifamily properties in my city.
Mm-hmm.
What would Rich Dad say about this?
It's like having your own research team, but through that Rich Dad lens.
Yeah, and it's constantly updated with the most relevant information.
Powerful stuff.
And think about this. You could give Notebook LM your financial data,
Okay, yeah.
your income, your expenses, maybe your savings goals,
right.
and then ask it to analyze potential investment properties.
Based on your specific situation.
Yeah. So it's not just summarizing the book, it's making those principles actually work for you.
It's bridging that gap between theory and action, which I think a lot of people struggle with.
They read the book, they get inspired, but then what?
Exactly. That's where AI can come in.
So how do you actually DO this stuff?
Right. And another thing Kiyosaki talks about a lot is understanding taxes.
Ugh, taxes, don't even get me started.
Most people just dread them.
Yeah.
But Rich Dad sees them as a system you can use to your advantage.
Totally. But even thinking about it makes my head spin.
Right.
What if you could use Notebook LM to create a personalized tax strategy
Now you're talking.
based on your income and expenses?
Tailored to you.
Highlight deductions you're missing or opportunities to optimize, all through that rich dad lens.
Working smarter, not harder. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, we do get a lot of feedback from listeners, and some of them worry that rich dad, poor dad might be a little outdated,
Yeah, I can see that.
in today's crazy economy.
It was written a while back. Things have definitely changed.
But I feel like those core principles, the financial literacy part, the mindset stuff, building wealth for the long term.
I think those are timeless. Those are fundamentals.
Yeah, I agree.
But you're right, the tools have evolved.
Exactly.
And that's where AI comes in.
So AI is helping us adapt those timeless lessons to today's world.
Exactly. It can analyze tons of data, way more than any human could handle.
Right.
It can spot those patterns and trends and opportunities we might miss
I love that.
and give us personalized insights.
Okay, but here's the big question. Can we really trust AI with our money? It feels kind of scary handing over control like that.
I hear you. Trust is key here.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that Notebook LM, it's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's not replacing human judgment.
Okay.
It can give you amazing directions,
Yeah.
but you still need to know how to drive.
So it's like a super smart assistant, not a financial dictator.
Exactly. It's there to help you make informed decisions, but you're still in the driver's seat.
You know, that reminds me of a time when I
Was so afraid to actually invest. I read all the books, I listened to all the podcasts, but when it came to actually putting money down, I just froze.
fear of making the wrong move.
Totally. And it's funny because that's another rich dad lesson where AI can really help
Oh, yeah. How so?
overcoming that fear of risk.
Mm-hmm.
Kiyosaki always said rich people take calculated risks,
Right.
while poor dad lets fear hold him back.
But how do you know when a risk is actually worth taking?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
It's not about being reckless.
No, it's got to be calculated,
It's about understanding those risks and then having the guts to make a move.
which can be terrifying when it's your hard-earned money on the line.
Exactly. And that's where Notebook LM can be your financial sparring partner.
I like that.
You can use it to simulate potential outcomes.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, let's say you're thinking about that rental property, but you're nervous.
Yeah, what if the market crashes?
Yeah.
Or you can't find tenants?
Right. So you feed Notebook LM all that data, property values, average rents, interest rates,
All that good stuff.
and it can run different scenarios, almost like a choose your own adventure,
I love that. So you can see the upside if everything goes well.
but also the potential downside if things go south.
It's like having a crystal ball, but with actual numbers.
Data-driven insights.
Mm.
And that can be so empowering because it takes some of that emotion out of it,
So you can make a more informed decision.
weighing those risks against the rewards.
Okay, we have a question from Sarah. She asks, how can I use Notebook LM to actually develop a rich dad mindset?
Ooh, that's a great one.
It seems like the book is about your attitude as much as it is about specific strategies.
She's right. Kiyosaki really stresses that mindset piece.
Mm-hmm.
Shifting your beliefs about money, feeling in control of your financial destiny.
But can you really use AI to do that?
Well, you can't just download a Rich Dad Mindset app, right?
Right. It's got to be deeper.
It's true. There's no shortcut to changing your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
But AI can help us uncover those limiting beliefs that might be holding us back.
Okay.
So let's say your goal is to save for a down payment on a house,
A big goal for a lot of people.
but you find yourself saying things like, I'll never be able to afford that, or saving's just too hard.
Those self-sabotaging thoughts.
Exactly. Notebook LM could actually flag that language as a potential limiting belief.
Oh, wow. So it's listening for those patterns.
Exactly. And then it can help you reframe that belief.
Give you more positive spin.
So instead of, I'll never be able to afford that, it might suggest, I'm committed to saving and I'm exploring different strategies.
It's subtle, but it can make a big difference.
It's like a cheerleader who's also a financial expert.
That's a good combo.
Right. And speaking of experts, we got a question from David.
Okay, what's David's question?
He says, I'm overwhelmed by all the financial advice out there.
Oh, I feel that.
Everyone has a different opinion.
Yeah, it's information overload.
How can I use Notebook LM to cut through the noise?
That's a good question. So how do you filter out the junk and find the good stuff?
One way is to use Notebook LM to curate information from sources you trust.
Okay.
You can tell it to focus on experts whose philosophies align with your values.
So if you're a Rich Dad fan,
You could say, hey, Notebook LM, show me what other Rich Dad fans are saying about this.
so you're basically building your own curated feed.
Exactly. And it can even help you spot red flags.
Ooh, like conflicting advice.
If one expert is saying one thing and another is saying the opposite,
Notebook LM can point that out.
yeah, it can highlight those discrepancies and encourage you to do more research.
It's like having a fact checker, making sure you're not getting swayed.
Exactly. Now I want to loop back to making Rich Dad, Poor Dad actionable with AI.
Yes, let's brainstorm.
We talked about spending habits, goals, investment decisions.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other creative ways to bring those principles to life?
Ooh, good question.
One thing that pops into my mind is creating a personalized Rich Dad challenge with Notebook LM.
Oh, I like that. How would that work?
You pick a few key lessons from the book that really resonate with you
Okay.
and have Notebook LM create a series of tasks or exercises.
To put those lessons into action.
Exactly. So if you want to build assets,
Right.
Notebook LM could challenge you to identify 3 potential investment opportunities this week.
And then analyze them through that rich dad lens.
Exactly.
Huh.
Or if you want to overcome your fear of risk,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it challenges you to make a small investment in something you believe in.
Even if it feels scary.
Exactly. Breaking down those big ideas into smaller, more manageable steps.
Yeah. And having Notebook LM there to guide you, keep you accountable.
Right. But I know some people are probably thinking, this sounds great, but who has time for this?
Yeah, we're all busy.
And you don't have to spend hours on it. Even a few minutes each day can make a difference.
So it's about fitting it into your routine.
Exactly. Maybe you spend 15 minutes each morning reviewing your goals with Notebook LM.
Or brainstorming side hustle ideas on your commute.
Right. Or even just 30 minutes each week researching an investment strategy.
Small, consistent actions, that's the key.
Exactly. And that reminds me, Rich Dad, Poor Dad really emphasizes that the most valuable asset is our minds.
It's true, we can have all the tools in the world, but ultimately it comes down to us.
So how can AI help us develop that Rich Dad mindset and reach our full potential?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's not like we can just download a new mindset.
Right. But, a lot of times we operate on autopilot with our finances.
We make decisions based on habits and biases we're not even aware of.
Exactly. And AI can help bring those patterns to light.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So tell Notebook LM about your goals, and it might pick up on language that reveals a limiting belief.
Like those negative thought patterns.
And then it can offer alternative ways of thinking,
challenge those old assumptions.
like therapy for your financial psychology.
I love that. So it's not just about managing money, it's about managing your relationship with money.
And AI can help you become more conscious and intentional.
I like that.
But let's be real. AI isn't a magic solution.
No, it's not going to make us rich overnight.
It's a tool.
That we have to use wisely.
Right. And it all comes back to Kiyosaki's emphasis on financial literacy.
We can't just blindly follow AI advice.
We need to understand the basics of money investing, wealth building.
Be able to think for ourselves.
Exactly. But AI can be a powerful ally.
It can speed up our learning, give us personalized insights.
Help us stay ahead of the game.
But ultimately, we're the ones in control.
We have to take ownership of our financial journey.
Now, I do want to mention, Rich Dad, Poor Dad has gotten some criticism over the years.
Yeah, it has.
Some people say his advice is too simplistic, that he doesn't always acknowledge the real-world complexities.
Right, and there have been questions about some of his stories, too.
Yeah, it's important to be aware of that.
No single book or author has all the answers.
And that's where AI can actually be helpful.
How so?
It can help us fact-check claims, compare different perspectives.
Do our own due diligence.
So instead of taking Kiyosaki's word for it, we can use AI to investigate, to explore alternative viewpoints.
Be our own financial detectives.
I love that. Okay, we have a question from Maria. She says, Kiyosaki talks a lot about building your own business, but starting a business is risky and expensive.
It can be, yeah.
How can AI make entrepreneurship more accessible?
That's a great question, Maria. And AI is already changing the game for entrepreneurs.
Oh, really? In what ways?
Well, one big area is market research.
Okay, yeah.
You can use AI tools to analyze trends, figure out what customers want, even test business ideas.
Before you invest a ton of money?
Exactly. So let's say you want to start a vegan pet food company.
Okay.
You could use Notebook LM to research that market, analyze the competition, even gauge potential demand.
All before you even bake your first tree.
Exactly. And AI can help with marketing, social media, even customer support.
It's like having a whole team of virtual assistants.
Working for you 24/7.
Which would be amazing when you're first starting out.
And as AI keeps evolving, we're going to see even more ways for entrepreneurs to use it.
To build successful businesses.
Exactly. It's really exciting.
It's democratizing entrepreneurship, making it more accessible for everyone.
Leveling the playing field.
Now, I do want to address something that's been in the news a lot. The potential for AI to automate jobs.
Yeah, even in finance.
Some people are worried AI is going to replace financial advisors altogether.
I think that's a valid concern.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
AI is automating certain tasks. That's true. But I don't think it's going to completely replace human advisors.
So what role do you see AI playing in the future of financial advising?
I think it's going to become an essential tool,
Okay.
helping advisors be more efficient, more effective, more personalized.
So instead of spending hours on data entry or research,
Right, they can automate those tasks,
and focus on building relationships with clients,
provide strategic guidance.
and AI can also analyze all that data.
Identify trends, develop customized investment strategies.
It's like a super-powered research assistant.
And it can also personalize communication.
Creating reports, sending reminders, even answering questions through chatbots.
So even if you're not super wealthy, you can still benefit from AI.
It's making financial advice more accessible.
Exactly. Now, I want to talk about something that's really important for our listeners.
Okay, what's that?
The difference between using AI to manage your money versus using AI to invest your money.
That's a good distinction.
So managing money, we're talking about budgeting, tracking expenses, setting goals.
The things that Notebook LM could help us with?
Right, analyzing your spending, finding savings opportunities, creating plans.
And that's all valuable, but investing is a whole other ballgame.
Right, now we're talking about using AI algorithms to make investment decisions.
Often in real time, with high stakes.
Robo-advisors, AI-powered hedge funds, algorithmic trading platforms.
Powerful stuff, but also risky.
Exactly. So what should our listeners be aware of if they're considering AI investing?
Yeah, what are the red flags?
First of all, AI is not a crystal ball.
It can't predict the future perfectly.
Right. It can analyze data, make predictions, but it can still make mistakes.
And those mistakes can cost you money.
And another thing, a lot of these AI platforms operate in the black box.
You don't really know how they're making decisions.
Right. You're trusting the AI without fully understanding its logic.
Which can be a little scary.
It's risky, especially if you're not comfortable with uncertainty.
And we have to be aware of potential bias in the algorithms.
If the data used to train the AI is biased, the decisions it makes could be biased too.
So it's crucial to do your research, understand the platform, be aware of those risks.
And diversify your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one AI-powered basket.
It's funny, that's what Kiyosaki says about investing in general.
You're right. A fundamental principle, whether you're using AI or not.
Okay, James asks, I'm fascinated by AI and wealth building, but I'm also concerned about the ethical implications.
That's a great point, James.
How can we make sure AI is used responsibly and fairly in finance?
We need to be having this conversation more and more.
Yeah, as AI gets more powerful.
It's not just about the technology, it's about the values behind it.
So what are some of the ethical things we should be thinking about?
One big concern is bias.
Yeah, we talked about that a little.
If the algorithms are trained on biased data, they can perpetuate and even amplify those biases.
Leading to unfair outcomes.
Like imagine an AI loan approval system
Okay.
that was trained on data reflecting historical lending patterns, which might have been discriminatory.
So it could unfairly deny loans to certain groups even if they're qualified.
Exactly. We need to build AI systems that are fair, transparent, and accountable.
Use unbiased data, be able to correct biases.
And another ethical concern is job displacement,
Yeah, as AI automates more tasks.
including jobs in finance.
We need to be prepared for that shift.
Make sure everyone benefits from AI, not just a select few.
Investing in education, creating new job opportunities.
It's not humans versus AI, it's humans and AI working together.
And we also have to be mindful of AI being misused.
Right. As it gets more powerful, it could be used for bad things.
Manipulating markets, stealing data,
We
discriminating.
need safeguards and regulations to prevent that.
To make sure AI is used for good.
Think about those ethical implications from the start.
It's like with great power comes great responsibility.
We need to be thoughtful about how we develop and use AI.
Okay, let's bring it back to Rich Dad, Poor Dad for a minute.
Sounds good.
What are some key takeaways our listeners can apply, even without fancy AI tools?
One of the biggest is financial literacy.
Understanding how money works, how to invest.
That's something we can all do.
There are so many resources out there.
Books, websites, podcasts.
You don't need a lot of money to start learning.
And another key takeaway is mindset.
Developing that rich dad mindset.
Believing in yourself, taking risks, being proactive,
AI can help with that, but we can also cultivate it on our own.
positive self-talk, visualization.
Surrounding yourself with the right people.
It's about choosing to focus on abundance.
And another big takeaway is taking action.
It's not enough to just read about it.
You have to put it into practice,
Create a budget, track your expenses, start investing.
even a small amount.
The sooner the better.
Small steps consistently over time.
It's like that saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
The second best time is today.
Exactly. No time like the present.
Now, I know some people are thinking, what if I'm already in debt? Can AI really help me get out of debt and build wealth?
Absolutely. In fact, it can be especially helpful for people in debt.
Oh, really?
There are AI tools that can analyze your debt, create a repayment plan, even negotiate with creditors.
So it's like having a financial advocate on your side.
helping you navigate that world of debt management.
So you could have Notebook LM analyze your credit card debt,
Figure out the most efficient way to pay it off.
maybe even lower your interest rates.
And it can help you identify the root causes of your debt.
So you can address those and prevent falling back into debt.
Like if you're overspending because of emotional issues or lack of knowledge.
AI can help you get to the bottom of it.
And one of those powerful things is that shift in mindset,
Going from feeling overwhelmed to feeling in control.
taking back control of your finances.
You know, this reminds me of something that happened to me a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
I was struggling financially, living paycheck to paycheck, tons of credit card debt,
I've been there.
and I started using an AI budgeting app.
Okay.
And honestly, it was a game changer.
What did it do for you?
It helped me track my spending, see where my money was going.
Gave you that clarity.
And I realized I was overspending in areas I didn't even notice.
Interesting.
And then it helped me create a budget I could actually stick to.
So it helped you get organized.
And you know what else? It changed my mindset.
How so?
Instead of feeling like I was always chasing money,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was in charge.
You took back control.
And I paid off my debt, started saving, even started investing.
That's amazing.
It just shows that AI can really help people transform their finances.
Even if you're starting from a tough spot,
It's about using technology to empower yourself.
create the financial future you deserve.
And it's not just about the tech itself.
It's about the knowledge, the possibilities it unlocks.
So here's a challenge for our listeners.
I like it.
Think about one specific way you can use AI to improve your financial well-being.
Even a small step.
Maybe download a budgeting app, use Notebook LM to research investments.
Maybe explore an AI financial education platform.
Get creative, think outside the box.
Use AI to achieve your goals.
Remember, the future of finance is here, and it's powered by AI.
Are you ready to embrace it?
On our next episode, we're diving into AI-powered investing.
We'll explore different platforms, the risks and rewards, and tips for choosing the right strategy for you.
So stay tuned and keep exploring the incredible potential of AI. It's amazing to think how much we've covered, just in this deep dive alone.
I know, right? It's a lot to take in.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and AI. It feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the future, like what's next.
Exactly. What's coming down the pipeline that's going to blow our minds even more?
Well, one thing that really excites me is the potential for, personalized AI financial coaching.
Ooh, okay. Tell me more.
Imagine an AI that not only analyzes your data, but also gets to know you,
Really gets to know you.
your goals, your risk tolerance, even your emotional relationship with money.
Whoa, that's like next level stuff.
It's like having a financial therapist who's also a savvy investor.
That's a powerful combination.
But, it does bring up some of those ethical questions we were talking about.
Yeah, for sure, like data privacy.
Right. And how much influence AI should have in our lives.
It's a slippery slope.
As amazing as AI is, we have to remember that we're still in control.
It should be a tool that empowers us, not something that takes over.
And that's where Rich Dad Poor Dad comes in again.
You're right, that focus on mindset.
Yeah, even with all the AI in the world, it's still up to us to develop that Rich Dad mindset.
Be curious, keep learning, take action.
Exactly. Rich Dad Poor Dad might not have all the answers for today's world.
But it definitely gets the conversation started.
How do we think about money? How do we build wealth?
Yeah.
How can AI help us do it better?
Those are questions everyone should be asking themselves.
Whether you're just starting out or you've been investing for years.
So for everyone listening, we have a challenge for you.
A call to action.
Take one concrete step today to apply what you've learned.
Even a small step.
Maybe download a budgeting app, brainstorm a side hustle idea.
Have a conversation with a financial advisor.
Use Notebook LM to capture your insights from Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Because knowledge without action is just potential.
When we combine those timeless principles with the power of AI,
That's when things get really exciting.
who knows what could happen?
Maybe you'll discover a new investment strategy, start a business.
Gain a deeper understanding of your relationship with money.
It's all possible.
Remember, the journey to financial freedom is a marathon, not a sprint.
Be patient, celebrate your wins, never stop learning.
We're here to support you every step of the way.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of knowledge and ideas.